I'm in my shed. I've converted part of this to my studio, but my studio is located in a shed. It's really peaceful back here, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll be spending more time back here for sure. Yeah, I think I'm learning several lessons right now in life, but the key ones that I can definitely see to be tapping more into and embracing is relinquishing fear and humility. Humility, I go and expand on that, and like the idea of, or the aspect of being more comfortable, I guess, showing the humanoid side of myself. I hope that makes sense, and it's something that I'm learning as I interact with other people, but as well as like with myself. Like, not humility. I mean, that's always a lesson to be learned, but that was the wrong one I said. The lesson that I'm really feel is fixated on right now in my life is dang, it just came to me and it just left. Is vulnerability. There we go. Not just with other people, but being vulnerable with self. I feel like that comes along with the cleansing and the healing process, but it's not something that I don't hear it talked about that much. And then I'm realizing that being vulnerable is not just with other people, but with self, being able to address and say, okay, this isn't my strongest suit, or maybe in the past this was an issue for me, and I can acknowledge that and I can accept that and take the lessons that has taught me, but how do I go and what was I saying? Not how do I go in, but I guess finding the space to just open up that conversation with self and address it, so healing can occur. Cleanse. I think of it as like opening up, cleansing it, so then healing can occur. That, and then also being able to be vulnerable with others, because I find that with like most of the artists that I really like, or not even just artists that I like, but people that have gone off to establish a place for themselves, a name for themselves, as themselves. A common thread that is found weave between them is the fact that they've been able to be or exhibit vulnerability on whatever level that is for them. But yeah, because that's one of the key things that connects us, that helps another person like recognize another soul. Like, okay, like, oh, you got a soul just like me. Sometimes we I feel like we think about each other as like without souls. Not without souls or like soulless, but like it's just on the back burner. Like, it's not at the forefront thought. Soul is kind of like the acknowledgement of I see it as the acknowledgement of God within one. So to be able to acknowledge one's soul is like, in return, also acknowledging God. And God is in everyone. God and Goddess. So, being more comfortable, being vulnerable. And then the things in which one is vulnerable about. Yeah. So that's a lesson that I'm learning right now. I think like the biggest, I I say two biggest holes that have been an obstacle in this learning process prior to is like, you know, it comes with vulnerability. Like, hey, you gotta open up. What if they don't take this right? What if they don't perceive it right? Or what if they don't understand or care enough to comprehend, or they just don't get it, you know? So that that innate, I guess, disregarding, you know, feeling of unacceptance, if they don't see it or perceive it, or me even acknowledge it, I would say, because you just opened up a vulnerable part of you. Like, imagine you're a little boy and you got a crush on a girl, and you're like, dang, I like her, and you go tell her. I mean, you just opened up a little part of you, and imagine she just acts like she doesn't hear you, just ignores it. Oh, that would hurt. That would hurt. Even it's roles reverse, scenario switch. So that's I guess healing that child innocence of me that was never quite comfortable with the vulnerability, which stems from different things. So now in this process, it's like, how vulnerable do I get? Do I go and explain where it stems from? I don't have to. I know I don't have to, but that would open up more of the healing to be done. I don't feel like it though at the moment. I'm just being honest. That's something else I have to get through. But not everything's meant to be shared, and that's cool. I know that. Discernment. So that aspect of vulnerability, and then what is the other one? I guess the whole idea of being vulnerable, one of the ideas that I follow with is having someone's perspective of you being shifted and changed. Now, you can't control how. That I believe it's the lack of control that comes with being vulnerable. You don't know how things are gonna rearrange itself. It will rearrange. It should rearrange. Ideally, I think if it's not to say if it's successful, because it could be successful and nothing changed, but now you feel freer, you feel lighter, and I know I'm not holding on to this thing. But then it's well, how will they perceive me now? Like, did I let them down? And I think that's definitely something I'm learning to let go of. Even my own perception of myself. You know, because, okay, say you're not used to being vulnerable, but you get so, you're trying to change, but you get so caught up in being in this stagnated spot where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna leave it this way because I'm used to it. It's just easier. Nah, I'm learning, I've been learning this lesson for a while, and I believe this is one of those lessons that all of these lessons will be ever learned. These are life lessons that will go on and duplicate themselves in different forms just to see if I really got it. But I would say, dang, I'm just saying, this is one of those lessons where I'm learning that ties into the fact that in order for peace to occur, a disturbance has to be made, and a disturbance doesn't have to be something necessarily negative or disruptive on a cataclysmic level. No, it can be a disruption for good, for light, for change. But sometimes that, you know, it's all based on one's perception. But I'm learning that in order for peace to occur, a disruption must be made. Yeah, I can go on a whole nother standpoint, whatever. What's the word? tangent on that, but not at the moment. I'm supposed to be putting paint on this canvas, so we're gonna get back to it, guys. These are just some of the things that, as I open up and learn to be more vulnerable, learn to express myself more and share more of my thoughts and the way in which I choose to view the world. I forgot what I was saying again. I tend to lose my train of thought a good bit. I get so deep into it, I'm like, wait, you know what I'm saying? I wrote a poem about that. I wrote a poem about both of these things in which I've been discussing. That peace can occur in order for... Peace can only occur when a disturbance is made. I took that... I'm sure other people have said it, but I took that directly from one of my poems. And then the idea of losing my train of thought, it's from another poem of mine. Both hearts. I like both of them. I like all my poems, I'll say that. Yeah. I speak to you, I speak to them. I talk to myself out loud. I'll say the words I wish I read. Here I go now. What's the point in being cool if you're just gonna conform as other tools? Can't you see the box is getting full? There was a reason they told us to think outside of them when at school. Peace can only occur when a disturbance is made. I guess that's why I sat here for this day and age. Remove the cloak and see things as they may occur. Some defer to various writings of literature, but read between the lines that you might unravel and find. The words, although divine, depict a place and a time when the sun won't shine, harvest and crop die, and seeds of red bleed beneath our eyes. There will come a time. This is me. I guess this will follow up after this video is out to complete it, but this is we're gonna call this Vulnerability 101. Go on a little social experiment, I'll say. I run a lot of experiments in my head, but I think it'd be interesting to actually put them out and express them and share them with other people, let you know that it's something that's being run. Because if you care, if you don't, you ain't make it this far, it don't even matter. It doesn't ruffle my feathers. Nah, but yeah. I was thinking, I was like, I'm just talking, where am I gonna put this in this video? This video is gonna be it's gonna be entirely long to have a own setup that I wanted to do. So yeah, we're starting something different, okay? I'm now creating the platform for myself where I can just be Jasmine. Is this Jasmine? When people start talking about alter egos, I start thinking about, like, I don't know, like, I don't even change. I mean, my name changes in my alter ego, but it's all part of my life, my natural born name. I feel like this is emphasizing this part of my name, so I'm gonna say this is who I choose to represent myself as in this moment. That's what I think of when I think of alter egos. Yeah, I don't think it's super. For me, I don't know. I had to think about it alter egos, they kind of remind me of like, alter egos are something like formed like as we mature. Like as a child, they were imaginary friends. You spoke to them outside of yourself, within yourself, but outside of yourself. Alter egos, I feel like you're just bringing that in, and you're actively speaking to yourself, but as the other person. You know, I feel like that's just a mature or adult form of saying imaginary friend. This is my alter ego. I'm letting this one take over. Or split personalities. You know, that's my thought. That's my idea. So that being said, I have like 3, but they all stem from my name. And I mean, I'm not going off and being a completely different person, but if I need a little more confidence, I might say that I'm the Don. Feel me? The Don. If I'm feeling more soft and I'm not artisty, art era, no. Blank that out. I said the wrong name at that point. I'm Jasmine. Yeah, this is regular Jasmine. I feel like that default, obviously. This is the default setting. To reach the other levels, I think that's interesting. That's when you get Dawn, or you get, blank it out. Y'all don't need to know that yet. I'm not ready to share that yet. I haven't reached that level of vulnerability yet. I say that. I would say it's just I am. Each one I am, but I think that's just releasing and letting go. Embracing, I would say that's the more mature me, looking into the future, doing things for the future, enlightened self. So that's what I would tie that ego with. That personality. Man. I'm supposed to be getting started on this painting. I keep talking, y'all. Actually